I placed my fork on the table with a measured calm, the kind that quietly unsettles people. The noise around Aunt Elaine's dining table didn't stop immediately. Uncle Greg was still talking about something related to his golf handicap, while my cousin Brittany scrolled on her phone, half listening as her husband complained about traffic. The Thanksgiving meal filled every inch of the oak table: turkey, stuffing, 3 varieties of potatoes, and a green bean casserole no one truly wanted but everyone politely acknowledged. My mom's laughter cut through the chatter. It was loud and performative, the kind that made my shoulders tense before my mind fully registered it. "Madison is 30 and still renting a shoebox," she announced to the entire table, lifting her wine glass as red liquid crept dangerously close to the rim. "Can you believe it?" Meanwhile, Brittany just bought that beautiful condo downtown. The room didn't fall silent, not yet, but I felt the shift. That subtle change in the air when people sense something coming. Brittany glanced up from her phone, uneasy. "Mom didn't help us with the down payment or anything." "Of course not," Mom replied, waving it off. "You and Trevor are responsible adults who plan ahead." Her gaze moved to me, carrying that familiar spark, the one that told me she was enjoying this moment. Some people just can't seem to manage their finances. I placed my hands flat beside my plate. The cream-colored tablecloth looked expensive, as Aunt Elaine always spared no effort for the holidays. I focused on the floral pattern, counting the repeats. 1, 2, 3. "You're absolutely right, Mom." My voice was calm, almost friendly. Her smile grew, mistaking my agreement for submission. She was clearly preparing another comparison: my car, my job, or the fact that I hadn't taken a vacation in 3 years. I should be saving more money. Uncle Greg nodded approvingly. Aunt Elaine topped off her wine, relieved that the discomfort seemed to be resolving the way it usually did, with me accepting my place as the family let down. "That's why I canceled the automatic mortgage transfer to your account this morning." This time, the silence was complete. Mom's wine glass froze halfway to her lips. Her face shifted through confusion and disbelief before settling into panic. The color drained from her skin in stages, like a photograph developing backward. "You did what?" "The $1,800 transfer," I said, keeping my tone steady. "The one sent on the first of every month for the past 2 years. I canceled it. Good luck with the mortgage, Mom." Aunt Elaine's fork struck her plate. Uncle Greg cleared his throat, suddenly focused on the design of his napkin. Brittany's eyes widened, her phone forgotten in her lap. "Madison." Mom's voice sharpened, edged with anger. "This isn't funny." I wasn't laughing. Earlier that day, I had been sitting in my car in Elaine's driveway, staring at my phone. The banking app was open, showing scheduled transfers, $1,800 on the first of every month. Always on time. Never missed. I scrolled through the history, watching my balance drop and recover in a pattern I knew well. Paycheck in, mortgage payment out, bills, groceries, whatever remained went into savings that never seemed to grow. My finger hovered over the cancel recurring transfer button. I had opened that screen countless times before. But each time, I closed the app and told myself that next month would be different. I believed that eventually, Mom would recognize what I was doing. That at the very least, she would stop embarrassing me at family events. The button turned red as I held it down. "Are you sure you want to cancel this recurring transfer?" I clicked confirm. Now, seated at this table and surrounded by people who are meant to be my family, I watched the balance of control collapse, fragile as shattered glass. "You can't be serious." Mom's voice sharpens. "Madison and Wright. Sit down and tell me you're joking." "Right now." I'm already on my feet, reaching for my coat draped over the back of my chair. My hands are steady. "Not yet. That comes later. I'm completely serious. After everything I've done for you?" Mom pushes away from the table, nearly tipping her chair. "I raised you. I made sacrifices. And this is how you repay me." The room goes silent. This is the moment when I'm expected to apologize. When I'm supposed to reverse the transfer, restore the payments, and ask for forgiveness for humiliating her in front of everyone. The routine is familiar. Everyone knows it. Instead, I put on my coat, fastening it one button at a time. The actions feel automatic, as if I'm observing someone else move. "Enjoy your dinner." "Madison." Mom calls after me as I head toward the door. "You come back here right now." You can't just leave. Madison. Anna Lane begins to stand, likely ready to stop me or deliver a lecture about family responsibility. But something in my expression makes her pause. Maybe it's that I'm not crying, or the firmness in my jaw, or maybe it's because after 30 years of being the mediator, the people pleaser, the overlooked daughter who pays her mother's mortgage while barely affording a small studio apartment, I'm done playing that role. The cold November air hits my face as I step outside. Sharp, clear, real. My car waits at the curb beneath a streetlight. I get into the driver's seat and close the door, muting the noise of the conflict I left behind. The engine starts with a familiar vibration. My hands settle on the steering wheel, and that's when they begin to shake, not from regret, but from the surge of finally standing my ground. I stare through the dark windshield, watching my breath cloud the glass. Inside the house, Mom is probably crying. Anna Lane is likely comforting her. The rest of the family is already deciding that I'm the villain. But I'm not going back. Not tonight. Not ever. The next day, the spreadsheet glows on my laptop screen. Each row documents a small betrayal in Arial 11-point font. I've been sitting at my kitchen table for 3 hours, matching bank statements with calendar dates, constructing a clear record of how much I've given. The apartment is silent except for the refrigerator's hum and the occasional mouse click. My coffee went cold long ago, but I keep lifting the mug to my lips without realizing it. $1,800. Every month. For 24 months. $43,200. And that's only part of it. I scroll down to the cells highlighted in yellow. Emergency payments. Mom's car needed brakes. The water heater failed. An unexpected dental bill. Each situation came with the same frantic phone call, the same shaky voice that made my stomach tighten. September last year. $4,000 for urgent roof repairs. March. $2,500 for the furnace. June. $5,000 because property taxes were due and she had forgotten. December, just before Christmas. $13,000. She said foreclosure was imminent. She cried. I emptied my savings account and canceled my holiday plans. The final number at the bottom of the spreadsheet makes my chest tighten. $68,000. I save the file with a name that feels official, like evidence. Madison, Wright, Financial, Documentation Point 2023, 2025.xlsx. Then I save it to the cloud. Then I email it to myself. I'm not losing this. My phone vibrates on the table. Dad's name appears on the screen. Hey, I say. Your aunt called me, he says carefully. She said you caused a scene at Thanksgiving. I stated a fact. Good for you. He exhales, and I picture him in his kitchen, leaning against the counter the way he does when he's thinking. Your mother called too. She wants me to talk some sense into you. And I told her I agreed with you. Something in my chest loosens. She's telling everyone you left her broke. Of course she has. Dad sounds worn out. Madison, you know the divorce settlement was split evenly. Exactly down the middle. The judge made sure of that. Your mother received $230,000. The townhouse was fully paid. She had no debt. So where did the money go? Where does it ever go? He pauses. That spa membership costs $800 a month. I saw the credit card statements before we separated. She was spending $4,000 a month at Nordstrom, getting her hair done every 2 weeks at that salon in Belmont. The kitchen renovation she insisted was necessary. The bathroom remodel. New furniture. She spent it, Madison. That's what she does. I already knew this. But hearing Dad say it out loud makes the spreadsheet on my screen feel less like anxiety and more like confirmation. Thanks for telling me, I say. I should have told you 2 years ago. His voice lowers. But honestly, I thought you were just helping her with groceries or small bills. I had no idea you were paying the entire mortgage until Elaine spoke up. He exhales. I'm sorry I didn't ask sooner. We hang up. I'm staring at the spreadsheet again when someone knocks at my door, sharp, persistent knocks that make me tense. I know who it is before I open it. Anna Lane stands in the hallway, still in her coat, her face set in that familiar expression of moral concern, like someone about to deliver a lecture. She doesn't wait for an invitation. She walks past me into my apartment, her eyes scanning the space with quiet judgment, noting every worn piece of furniture and every mark on the wall. "We need to talk," she says. "Hello to you too. Don't be sarcastic, Madison." She turns to face me, and there's no warmth in her expression. No interest in my perspective. "Do you have any idea what you've done? I stopped paying my mother's mortgage. You embarrassed her. In front of the entire family." Elaine's voice rises. "She's your mother. She raised you. And you threw that back at her like it meant nothing." I close the door, my hand still on the knob. "Did she tell you how much I've been paying?" "That's not the point. $1,800 a month. For 2 years. Plus another $24,000 in emergency payments. The numbers come easily now. I've looked at them long enough to memorize them. $68,000 total." Elaine waves her hand, as if I'm talking about something insignificant. Family helps family. Does family humiliate family at Thanksgiving dinner? She was just joking. She called me a financial failure. She compared me to Brittany. She does this every time we're together. And I'm expected to smile and keep sending checks? "Your mother is bad with money," Elaine says, like she's admitting a known fact. As if that should make me more understanding. "Everyone knows that. But she raised you alone after your father left. You owe her. Dad didn't leave her without anything. The divorce was 50-50. Elaine's mouth tightens. "She knows that." "Of course she does. That doesn't change your responsibility. If you stop paying, she loses the house. Is that what you want? Your mother without a home?" "I want her to take responsibility. She's 55 years old, Madison. She can't just start over. I'm 30. Why can't I?" The question hangs between us. Elaine looks at me, and I can see her reassessing. She realizes guilt won't work anymore. That I'm not the same person who sat quietly at Thanksgiving the day before. "If she loses that house, everyone will know it's your fault," she says finally. "Your cousins, your aunts and uncles, everyone at church. They'll know you abandoned your own mother. They can think whatever they want. This will follow you." Her voice drops, taking on a subtle threat. "People talk. Your coworkers will hear about it. Your boss. Everyone will know what kind of daughter you are." I walk over to my laptop and turn it toward her. The spreadsheet fills the screen. $68,000 at the bottom, highlighted in red. "You're welcome to share that number when you're telling people what kind of daughter I am." Elaine looks at the screen. Her jaw tightens, but she says nothing. "I'm done," I tell her. "You can leave now." She leaves without another word. I lock the door behind her, then sit back down at my kitchen table and open my email. The message takes 10 minutes to write. I keep it formal. Professional. The same tone I'd use at work when documenting an issue. To Carolyn Wright. CC. Elaine Peterson, Richard Wright. Subject. Financial support notice. Effective immediately. I will no longer provide financial support for mortgage payments or other expenses. Attached is documentation showing $68,000 in payments made between November 2023 and November 2025. This decision is final. Madison Wright. I attach the spreadsheet. My finger pauses over the send button for just a second. Then the email is gone. The rest of the evening passes in silence. No calls. No messages. When I check the family group chat before going to bed, there's nothing new. Only quiet where there used to be constant activity. I check my bank account once more. The balance is higher than it's been in 2 years. And next month, it will increase again. That number comes at a cost. The silence on my phone. The social exclusion that has already begun. But for the first time in 24 months, I can breathe. On Monday, a notification appears during my lunch break. A coworker tagged me in a comment thread. I don't need to open it to understand what's happening. My stomach sinks before my thoughts catch up. That familiar heaviness settling behind my ribs. The post is public. Of course it is. My mother has never believed in handling family matters privately. Not when there's an audience to influence. Her profile photo shows her at a charity event from 3 years ago, wearing a dress I now realize I likely paid for. The post is long and unfocused. Emotional, the kind people usually scroll past unless they recognize the situation. Some people don't understand what it means to honor your parents, it begins. After all the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, the hard decisions, giving up personal dreams to raise children properly, only to be abandoned when support is needed most. I'm getting older. I won't be here forever. But I guess that doesn't matter to some people. She doesn't mention my name. She's more careful than that. Instead, she tags Anna Lane, Uncle Greg, 3 cousins and several family friends. People who were at Thanksgiving. People who know exactly who she's referring to. The comments arrive quickly. Sympathy emojis. Praying for you. Stay strong. Some children don't appreciate what they have. Mrs. Henderson from 2 houses down writes, "You deserve so much better." I lock my phone and place it face down on my desk. The spreadsheet on my screen loses focus. "Hey, Madison." I look up. Jessica from accounting stands at my cubicle entrance. Her expression is carefully neutral, the kind that suggests she's seen something but isn't sure how to address it. "I just wanted to check if everything's okay. I saw your mom's post and..." Heat rises to my face. Not embarrassment. Something more cutting. The realization that my personal situation has officially entered my professional space. "I'm fine," I say. The words feel hollow. "Family stuff. You know how it is." Jessica nods, but her eyes linger. Pity. Curiosity. Judgment. She's wondering what I did to earn a public accusation from my own mother. Whether there's truth behind the image of an ungrateful daughter being presented. "If you need anything," she says, stepping away slowly. After she leaves, I open the post again. I read the comments. Watch the likes increase. 43 people have validated my mother's victim narrative in under 20 minutes. My fingers begin typing automatically. A clear, factual summary of the past 2 years. Mortgage payments, manufactured emergencies, casino receipts I haven't even shared yet. Every detail organized into numbered points. Direct. Verifiable. 3 paragraphs. Then 4. The truth written in calm, professional language that leaves no room for misinterpretation. My thumb pauses over the post button. 1 tap and everyone sees my side. 1 tap and the story changes. 1 tap and I stop being the villain. The office air conditioning hums through the vent above me. I reread the draft twice. Then I select all and delete it. Because that's exactly what she wants. My mother isn't interested in the truth. She wants the performance. She wants a public defense. A visible reaction. She wants a conflict she controls. Every response. Every fact. It all fuels the spectacle she's creating. Responding would make me look defensive. Reactive. Like someone hiding something. Instead, I remove the post from my feed. I don't unfriend her. I don't comment. I simply take it out of view, as if it doesn't exist. My hands are steadier than I expect. 20 minutes later, my phone rings. My father's name appears on the screen. "I saw it," he says before I can speak. No greeting. Straight to the point. "Don't respond." "I wasn't planning to." "Good." He exhales. I picture him in his workshop, surrounded by unfinished furniture and sawdust. "She's baiting you." This is what she does. Creates a crisis. Makes herself the victim. Then waits for you to react, so she can use it as proof. "I know. Do you?" His voice softens. "Because I spent years falling for it. Apologizing for things I didn't do. Fixing problems I didn't create. It took me too long to understand. You can't win against someone who rewrites history every time they speak." I close my eyes and press the phone closer to my ear. "People believe her," I say. "Some people will believe anything that confirms what they already think," he replies. "The ones who matter will figure it out eventually." After we hang up, I sit quietly in my cubicle. The fluorescent lights buzz overhead. Someone's microwave popcorn fills the break room with artificial butter. That evening, my coworker Amber texts me. Not Jessica with her careful distance, but Amber from my training group 3 years ago. We get drinks sometimes. Share stories about difficult clients and office politics. Saw your mom's post through a mutual friend. Want to grab coffee? We meet at a cafe 2 blocks from my apartment. Small. Overpriced. Mismatched furniture. Barista's committed to the aesthetic. Amber orders something with oat milk. I choose black coffee, too tired to think about options. My mom did the same thing to my sister, Amber says without hesitation. Different details. Same strategy. Public shaming. Playing the victim. Making it everyone else's issue. I wrap both hands around my mug, feeling the heat through the ceramic. My sister supported her for 4 years. Amber continues. Rent. bills, groceries, and my mom spent it on QVC jewelry and timeshare she never used. When my sister finally cut contact, Mom told everyone she had been abandoned, presenting herself as a tragic figure. What actually happened? My sister moved across the country, changed her number, and started fresh. Amber shrugs. It sounds extreme, but sometimes that's the only option. You can't fix people who don't want to change. You can only protect yourself. The coffee tastes burnt, but I drink it anyway. That night at home, I sit cross-legged on the couch with my laptop open. The Facebook post is still there, still collecting sympathetic comments like barnacles clinging to a wreck. I open my privacy settings and start clicking through choices. Reduced profile visibility, restricted lists, unfollowing without unfriending, the digital version of closing a door quietly. I unfollow Aunt Elaine, Uncle Greg, the cousins who liked Mom's post, family friends who added prayers and sad face emojis. One by one, their content disappears from my feed. They can still see my public posts and believe whatever they want, but I don't have to watch them perform loyalty to Mom anymore. The silence that follows feels deliberate, not empty. My phone vibrates at 7:30 on a Wednesday morning. 3 weeks of silence end with this call. Aunt Elaine's name lights up the screen, and my stomach sinks before I answer. It's an emergency. Her voice is breathless, theatrical. The utilities are being shut off, and the sheriff is at the door. Madison, you have to do something. Behind her, Mom wails, high-pitched, desperate, precisely tuned to trigger every guilt reflex I've spent 30 years developing. What happened to the money from? There's no time for questions, Elaine snaps. Your mother has zero cash. Zero. They're cutting everything off today. She'll have to move into some awful motel, or worse, she'll have no choice but to show up at your office. The threat lands exactly as intended. I picture Mom creating a scene in my workplace, crying to my boss about her cruel daughter, my carefully built professional reputation collapsing in one public performance. You have 2 hours to fix this. 2 hours. The call ends before I can reply. I sit on the edge of my bed, still in pajamas, the phone cooling in my hand. The apartment is quiet except for the refrigerator's hum and distant traffic. My banking app is already open from checking my balance earlier, that small green number that's finally starting to grow. The old Madison would already be getting dressed, calculating transfers, drafting an apology for letting things reach this point. But I see the pattern now. The manufactured emergency. The impossible deadline. The threat of public embarrassment used as leverage. Instead, I scroll through my message history with Mom. 3 weeks of silence since the email. No reply to the spreadsheet. No acknowledgement of the $68,000. Nothing, until this exact moment when she needs something. My finger hovers over the banking app. Then I close it. I text back. I'll meet you at the townhouse. 1 hour. The response arrives instantly. Thank God. I knew you'd come through. I shower. Get dressed in my usual work clothes. Gray slacks, white blouse, minimal makeup. In the mirror, I see someone who looks tired. Worn down. Defeated. Perfect. The drive to Mom's townhouse takes 35 minutes, but I make them wait longer. My hands are steady on the wheel, no shaking this time. Just calm, focus control. Mom's car is in the driveway. So is Elaine's Mercedes. I park on the street and walk slowly up the path, counting my steps. 17 from curb to front door. The flower beds Mom planted last spring are overgrown, weeds choking the petunias she spent $200 on. The door opens before I knock. Finally, Elaine says, ushering me inside as if I'm late for surgery. She's been beside herself. Mom sits on the couch, a tissue box in her lap. Mascara smudged, but her eyes are sharp, alert, watching for weakness. Elaine stands behind her, arms crossed, playing the concerned sister. They barely hide their satisfaction. They think this is a win, the prodigal daughter back with her checkbook ready. I don't sit. Show me the shut-off notice. Mom blinks. What? The sheriff. The utility company. Show me the paperwork. There's no time for... Elaine starts. Show me. Mom's hands flutter toward the coffee table, where a single envelope rests that I see the envelope from Duke Energy. It's addressed to her. I open it. Final notice. Dated 3 days ago. Past due balance. $412. Not $1,800. Not the mortgage. Utilities. I can handle this, one last time. My words sound flat. Tired. Mom's shoulders relax immediately, relief spreading across her face. Elaine's expression shifts into quiet satisfaction. They exchange a look, confirming what I already knew. This was never just about money. It was about control. About showing they could still manipulate me. I pull out my phone. I'll pay it directly, I say. Just write a check, Mom says quickly. Or Venmo me, Elaine adds. Whatever's fastest. No, I keep my tone calm, controlled. I need the account details, the utility login. I'll need the records for my taxes anyway. The excuse comes out smoothly. Reasonable. Responsible. Mom hesitates. This wasn't what she expected. She wanted cash, easy, untraceable. But she needs the money too badly to argue. I watch her think it through. Getting paid now outweighs the inconvenience of sharing login information. Fine, she says, listing the website, username, and password. I enter everything into my phone. The Duke Energy portal loads. I go to payment options, input my debit card, and confirm the $412 charge. My bank app updates instantly. Processing. There, I say. It's paid. Thank you, sweetheart. Mom replies, her voice overly warm. I knew you'd understand. Family takes care of family. But I'm not finished. I scroll further, angling my phone away from them. Transaction history. Statements. Downloads. My camera sound is muted, but my pulse is loud in my ears. 6 months of bills, paid on time. Every single one. No late fees until now. I keep scrolling. Saving. Documenting. Mom is already chatting with Elaine about something else. The crisis is over for them. They think this chapter is closed. They think the ATM is open again. I should go, I say, sliding my phone into my pocket. I have work. Of course, Mom says, not getting up. Thank you, Madison. I know things have been tense, but this really helps. I don't reply. I head for the door, my hand steady on the knob. Outside, I don't drive off right away. I park down the street, out of view of the townhouse. My phone is warm in my hand, the account still open. Those credentials work for more than utilities. I navigate to her bank account, the one she gave me access to under the pretense of paying bills. I tap transaction history. The numbers make my breath stop. 2 days ago. ATM withdrawal. The Emerald Casino. $2,000 cash. The day before the emergency. The day before she claimed she had nothing. The same day she and my aunt called me. I scroll further back. More casino withdrawals. High-end department stores. Spa memberships. Monthly expenses that tell a clear story. Someone who never planned to pay her own bills. Someone who spent the mortgage money knowing exactly who would fill the gap. I screenshot everything. Dates. Locations. Amounts. The evidence forms a clean, undeniable timeline on my phone. Inside that townhouse, they're probably relieved. Already planning the next crisis. Home repairs. Car trouble. Something urgent enough to open my wallet again. But I'm not upset. I'm smiling. I create a new folder. Evidence. Every screenshot goes inside. Then I back it up to the cloud. 3 copies. Each one protection I didn't realize I'd need. This isn't just awareness anymore. It's preparation. Let's see what else you've been hiding, I say quietly. I start the engine and pull away, leaving the townhouse behind. My phone rests in the cup holder, screen dark now, holding truths they never meant me to see. The ATM isn't open anymore. It's closing for good. 4 days later, a text arrives. Mom. Madison. I need to talk to you urgently. My car is making a horrible noise. The mechanic says it needs $1,200 in repairs immediately. I can't get to work without it. I stare at the message as my coffee cools. Same urgency. Same manufactured panic. The tactic that once sent my heart racing and my fingers straight to my bank app. Not anymore. I scroll through the screenshots. Transaction after transaction. Groceries that make sense. Utility payments, much lower than she claimed. And then the others. The luxury spa. The designer outlet. The wine bar charging $18 per glass. And finally, the one that changes everything. The Emerald Casino. My thumb hovers over the reply button. I could ignore the message, block her number, move forward, and let her handle her own consequences, but she doesn't stop. People like Mom rarely do, unless someone forces the issue. This time, that someone is me. Let's address it directly. Can we meet tomorrow afternoon? I think Aunt Elaine should be there as well. The reply arrives almost immediately. Mom, why does Elaine need to be involved? This is between you and me. Me, because she's been part of every discussion about my supposed financial responsibility to you. 2 p.m. at Riverside Cafe. I'll see both of you there. I don't wait for further objections. I switch off my phone and finish getting ready for work. The next day, the cafe sits on the corner of Main and 3rd, a place with round tables and an excess of natural light. I arrive 10 minutes early, carrying my laptop bag and a folder filled with printed documents. Everything is organized by date, with key details highlighted in yellow. Mom and Aunt Elaine arrive together at 2:15. Late, but not late enough to comment on. Mom wears that tight expression she gets when she's nervous, but pretending she isn't. Elaine already looks disapproving, as if she walked in prepared to lecture me about family obligations before I've said a word. They sit across from me. Mom reaches for my hand. I pull back and place both palms flat on the table. Thank you for coming. Of course, sweetheart. Her voice is overly sweet. Now about the car. I'm really stuck. I know you said you wouldn't help anymore, but this is different. I can't work without transportation. We can discuss that. I open my laptop. The screen lights up between us. But first, I want to show you something. Elaine shifts in her chair. Madison, if this is about bringing up the past, it's about the last call. I turn the laptop toward them. The transaction history fills the screen. When you said the utilities were about to be shut off. When you claimed the sheriff was at the door. Mom's face freezes. I paid that bill directly, remember? You gave me the login details. I moved to the next screenshot, which meant I could see everything else. The silence stretches. A waitress approaches, glances at our table, and quickly redirects to another group. Madison, Mom says sharply, looking through my private accounts is a violation of the day before your emergency. I tap the screen. November 14th. The Emerald Casino. $2,000. Cash withdrawal. Elaine leans forward, squinting. Her mouth opens, closes, then opens again. You withdrew $2,000 at a casino. I continue calmly. And the very next day you called me in a panic, saying you had no money for utilities. You created that crisis. You gambled away your mortgage payment, and then asked me to cover it. That's not, Mom begins. I raise one hand. I have 68,000 reasons to be finished with the lies. I slide the printed records across the table. This covers 2 years of payments. 1,000 here. 800 a month there. Emergency transfers. And the utility bill I just paid, which funded a casino trip. Mom stares at the papers, as if they might burst into flames. Her hands shake when she reaches for them, but she doesn't pick them up. Elaine reads quietly. I see the exact moment she understands there's no defense here. No way to reframe this into a lesson about family duty. Her expression shifts from judgment to disbelief. Carolyn, Elaine says softly but with force. Tell me this isn't real. It was a mistake, Mom blurts out. I was under pressure. I thought I could win it back. I never intended. You lied to me, Elaine interrupts. You stood in my kitchen and said Madison abandoned you. You convinced me to guilt her into helping. And it wasn't true. I needed help. Mom insists, her voice rising. I made one bad choice. That doesn't erase everything Madison owes me. I close the laptop gently. I don't owe you anything. The words settle, firm and final. The money I gave you didn't fix your problems. It enabled them. Every dollar went toward supporting a lifestyle you couldn't afford. Designer clothes, spa memberships, casino visits. You didn't need saving. You needed the saving to stop. Mom opens her mouth, then closes it. Her eyes shine, and I wait for the tears, the familiar performance. Even she seems to realize it won't work now. I take out my phone and open the family group chat. 37 members, cousins, aunts, uncles, relatives I barely remember. I haven't written anything yet, I say, showing the blank message. But I will if this continues. The casino receipt. The transaction history. The full truth about where my money went. You wouldn't, Mom whispers. Try me. I meet her gaze. The caption is simple. I didn't abandon her. She spent the mortgage money at the casino. Elaine leans back, the fight draining from her. Without moral ground, she's just a witness to something indefensible. I stand, collecting my laptop and folder. I'm done fixing problems you create. I've changed every password. Don't call about emergencies. Don't text about crises. Don't come to my apartment or my workplace. After everything I did for you? Mom's voice breaks. I pause. You raised me. Past tense. That role is finished. And you were paid for it. $68,000. I walk out while they remain seated, stunned and silent. The afternoon sun hits my face as I step onto the sidewalk. My hands are steady. My chest feels clear. For the first time in 2 years, I feel weightless. 5 months can change everything, and nothing at all. My new apartment even has real closet space. 2 bedrooms, even though I live by myself. The second room holds a desk, a wall of bookshelves, and a reading chair I picked up at an estate sale. Fresh tulips rest in a clear glass vase on the kitchen counter, bright yellow against the white subway tile. I bought them yesterday simply because I wanted to, not because they were discounted. My savings account finally has a real balance, actual numbers that increase instead of disappearing. The Easter gathering is at Anna Lane's again. Different holiday, same house. This time, I park at the curb by choice. Not out of obligation. Not from guilt. Just a simple decision to show up because I want to see Dad and a few cousins who reached out after everything settled. I grab the lemon cake from the passenger seat. Store-bought, because I'm no longer trying to prove anything. Inside, the familiar sounds of family chaos welcome me. Kids running through the hallway. Uncle Greg's booming voice from the living room. The smell of ham and scalloped potatoes drifting from the kitchen. Mom is here. I saw her car in the driveway. She's sitting in the corner of the dining room when I walk in, quieter than I've ever known her. Her wine glass is half full, not constantly empty. She looks up when she sees me, and something passes across her face, not quite shame, not quite resentment. Something in between that I don't need to define or fix. I nod once. She nods back. That's it. Brittany waves from across the room and actually smiles. Genuine, not awkward. She comments on the cake, saying it looks amazing. The conversations around me feel different now. Anna Lane asks about work with real interest instead of hidden judgment. Uncle Greg talks about his new boat without comparing it to what I can't afford. No one comments on my apartment size, my car, or my supposed lack of future planning. They've adjusted. The family learned where the boundary is, and no one is pushing it anymore. Halfway through dinner, Cousin Mark casually mentions helping his brother with rent. Family helps family, right? That's what we do. The table doesn't fall silent, but I sense the slight shift, the subtle weight behind the words. I put my fork down, take a sip of water, and smile. My shoulders stay relaxed. There's no urge to escape. Everyone is responsible for their own finances. Mark blinks and nods slowly. Yeah, I guess that's true too. The conversation moves on. Someone brings up dessert. Brittany's husband starts telling a story about their dog. The moment fades like sugar dissolving in coffee, sweet and unremarkable. Later, Dad finds me near the coffee station. He squeezes my shoulder once, firm and proud. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't need to. On Tuesday, a younger woman from accounting stops by my desk. Sarah, maybe 24, with tired circles under her eyes that look familiar. She asks if she can talk, glancing around like she's afraid someone might hear. It's about family. We end up having coffee in the break room. She talks about her parents, the constant requests, the guilt, the threats. Her voice shakes when she mentions cutting them off. Everyone says I'm selfish. I think about the spreadsheets, the casino withdrawal, the 2 years of silence I once confused for love. You can love people from a healthy distance, I tell her. You're not responsible for fixing problems they create. She starts crying, but the relief on her face is clear, like someone finally gave her permission to breathe. I give her my number and tell her to call if she needs to talk. She hugs me before leaving and whispers thank you into my shoulder. That evening, I meet Dad and Jessica, the coworker who supported my boundaries 6 months ago at an Italian place downtown. We order too much food and split a bottle of wine that costs more than I used to spend on groceries in a week. To chosen family, Jessica says, raising her glass. Dad smiles. To Madison, finally choosing herself. We clink glasses, and the sound is clean and certain. Driving home, the sunset spreads across the horizon in deep pinks and orange tones. My hands rest easily on the steering wheel. No phantom buzzing from my phone. No checking the mirror like Mom might suddenly appear. My laptop sits open on the passenger seat. Browser tabs still visible, one for a photography course starting in June, another showing flight prices to Colorado. The voice in my head sounds different now. Steady instead of anxious. Clear instead of conflicted. Family helps family, I say out loud to the empty car. But help doesn't mean sacrifice. The light ahead turns green. After all I did for you, I smile at my reflection in the windshield. I finally did something for myself. My hands remain steady on the wheel. The road ahead belongs to me. The invisible provider now provides for the one person who was never exploiting her. Herself.